Okay, Iggy, let's see if we can kind of hammer this one down once and for all. It's not difficult to follow. You just have to be a bit clear in what you're thinking. Okay, so here I am. I've just gone File, File, New, 960 PGA, 960 pixel website. And that's where we are. First thing I'm going to do is go File, save. I'm going to say Save As. I'm going to go Control V, and I've got to save it as Slider 6 cycle widgets are, and I've already saved this earlier, but you disregard that, and I'll just replace it. Alright, there's nothing in there at all now. It's just a plain page with no content at all. What I'm going to do now is go into the local design gallery. Haven't opened the local design gallery. I've got this cycle 6 widget, which I'm going to drag into this page and just move it to the top and lock it to the center. Okay, and the first thing you notice about this is its default size is 700 by 300. So all these images that are going to be inside this slider are going to be 700 by 300 pixels. You can't have 700 by 300 pixels as one, and then 100 by 200 pixels as a second image, and 400 by 700 as a third image. They've all got to be 700 by 300 pixels. Okay, that should be fairly straightforward. Okay, having said that, I'm going to save this again. That's now saved. Okay, now let's try to achieve what you're trying to do. Firstly, the widget has 5 photos. You only require 3 at this stage. So I'm going to click on the widget and select Edit. And if I open the page in Layer Gallery, as you slide down here, you can see that yours has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't want page number 6. I'll click on that and delete it. I don't want page number 5. Click on that and delete it. And then I'm just going to go Save. Click Close there, and it'll ask me to save it, so I'll save it. So that's now saved, and if I have to just hang on a bit while the placeholder is updated, then if I click on the Publish, I'll just move that down a bit, you can now see that it's publishing 1, 2, come on, 3 images, no more. And while I'm at it, I'll just adjust this down to the right size as well. That should do. So you've now got it down to 3 images. That's fine. Now we've got to get down to the nitty-gritty. You want to replace the default slider images with images of your own. First thing you've got to ask is what size are the current slider images. If you click on the slider images, on the slider widget, you can see up here quite clearly it's 700 by 300. Therefore, any replacement image must, and I stress must, be the same size, i.e. 700 by 300 pixels. Okay, so let's open a new document and create these 700 by 300 pixel replacement images. So open a new document. Okay, I'm in the new document now, so the first thing I'll do is to give this document a standout background, so I'm going to drag the colour red off the colour line. Sorry, control drag off the colour line and drop it onto the page background so it's red. This isn't really required, but it helps in visually explaining what's going on. Now I'll create, in the rectangle tool, I'll create a rectangle. Let's just say that's black and no outline, clear line colour. So what I want to do is make this 700, and up here put 300, 700 by 300 pixel rectangle, and that's to match the size of the slider images. And I'm just going to make that yellow there now, and again these awful colours are only to visually make the big difference about what's going on in the background and what's going on in the foreground. Alright, now you'll want to add some image content to this rectangle here. Using your previously supplied images, I'll drag from the bitmap gallery of that Zara file over the 700 by 300 pixel rectangle. So if I go into the bitmap gallery, and I think this is one of the images you've got, just drop that on there, and you can see that is a PNG because it's got an alpha channel in the background. It's transparent in the background, and you can see that that's fine. I don't really need to worry about the size of that at the moment, just to make sure that the top of the head is in the picture, and I can move that around like that. I can then go File, Export JPEG. Let me just make a new folder. Iggy-tut. It's quite good, that Iggy-tut. I'm going to call this Photo 1 for a better name. Settings. And if you notice, when you preview it, all you're getting is the yellow size square. I don't know if I can move this around here, but where that page overlaps here and here, that is actually sliced out, so you don't get the edge of that shirt sleeve, and you don't get the remainder of her arms. And if I just go export, because I'm exporting that true color as a JPEG, that's fine. So we've exported one of the images require in the slider. So let's give it a try. Return to the slider cycle 6 widget ZAR file, which is there. Okay, and click on the widget and select edit. And then we'll scroll down till we get to this first image, and I'll just click on that until you get these. With this background, you can't really see it's selected very well, but you can see these little bounding boxes around it. The next thing you need to do is to open the folder you just created called Iggy-tut. So I'll just open that, and there it is. Let me just, whoops, really must get this mouse sorted out. I'll just move that, and I'm just going to drag and drop that onto there, and see that that has now been replaced with that image. If I then close it, it will ask me whether I want to save it, and I'll say save. Then it takes a while for the widget to update, And there it is, and if we just give it a try, that's 1, 2, 3, and they're all showing. No problem at all. So I'm happy with that. So let's just save that for a minute. I'm going to return to this Untitled 23, and what I'm going to do is Control K to clone that. I want to move this down the page a bit. And very quickly now I'll try, rather than go through the whole process of doing what you were doing earlier. I open the bitmap gallery and I'm going to drag in another image there and just move it around. I can put it over there, but if I do it present, the title is going to overlay it the way this widget's laid out. So let's keep them all the same size. Just ensure that there is an overlap. It's not like that, but there's an overlap like that. I can then File, Export JPEG, and I'm going to call this one Photo 2. Export. I'll do similar, Control K to get that 700 by 300 rectangle down again. Go into the bitmap gallery, select this chap, slide him in there, move him up again so he's not sitting inside like that. Something wrong up there a bit. He's got a bit of a overlap on where his head was a bit white, but doesn't worry too much about that because you're not going to have a bright yellow background when you're finished anyway. And I'll select that 700 by 300 rectangle, File, Export JPEG, and we're going to call this one, cancel, we're going to call this one 3, export. So we've now got those 3 images. Return to slider cycle 6 widget.zar, click on that, edit it, then move down that page. Let's select this page now, open up the Iggy.tut and slide that over to that image. Move this over here a bit more, slide that down, open up that Iggy-tut, having made sure that this image is selected sorry, I don't know what happened there, I'll just click that down. Having ensured that that image is selected, I'm going to open up this Iggy-tut again, and I'm going to drop that photo onto there. I don't know why it's doing that. Do excuse me. That is selected. Open up the Iggy.tut and select that over there. Finally got there. This mouse has given me jip. I really must get it replaced. I'm going to close that, save it. Again, that updates the widget. And then if I test it, testing, working in that, working in that. So that's now fine, it's all working okay. Okay, having said that, it's not much fun if you've got this yellow background. So one of the things you can do is to return to the this one. Let's put that to white. Put that to white. I'll put that to white. Oops, white we want. Select that one, file, export JPEG, photo 1, export, replace, file, export JPEG, 2, export, replace, file, export JPEG, export, replace. So that's fine. Go back to slider 6, click, edit the widget. Go down here now, select first image, open up the Iggy-slider file and drag and drop that one onto there. Drag and drop this one onto here. Let's just go down, Iggy file, drag and drop that one onto there. And I can go close, and I'll save it. Again, it will update, and hopefully the background will turn white, as it does. If we go to test it, you've got these images now coming through. White background, white background, white background, and they're all 700 by 300 pixels. And again, if you want to go a bit further than that, if we go back here, let's just go to the fill gallery, and if you select that, and I'll pin that fill gallery in, and that's the white rectangle, 700 by 300. I've selected this marble effect, and I'll say fill. Okay, let's just shut that down a minute. I'll move down to this image, selecting again that white 700 by 300 rectangles. Go to the fill gallery. Let's put the, give me something with a bit more contrast. No, there's nothing I like there. Let's go to plant, and that one, the conifers, and I'm going to do fill. It fills them, that a bit bigger like that. Okay, and similarly, if I go to this one, the fill gallery, let's go, I'll have this carpet for this one. I hit fill, and you've got different backgrounds for each. And if I'll just got a 50% zoom there. Let's move down these very quickly. I'll go file, export JPEG, photo 1, export, replace, file, export JPEG, 2, export, replace. Whoops. Making sure I'm picking up the 700 by 300 one and not just the image. File, export JPEG, photo 3, export, replace. I'll change those 3 images. If I go back to slider 6 widget, click on that, go to edit, try and do this as quickly as I can. If I now open up that Iggy dot tutorial, move it across here a bit, I can move that one into there, drag that one into there, and if I go down a bit, I can drag that one into there, click on there and save it. Updating again, go to there, and you can see you've got the image of a member of staff with a background, another member of staff with a different background, member of staff with another background, and finally I might as well reiterate on one of these things I said before, that if you go into that and edit that, and this is the first part of the edit of that widget, you can change, it says set the opacity of the applied to the main panel. A value from 0 to 1 can be entered. The lower the value, the more transparent the panel is and the text contained within. And what I'm going to do is put that down to 0. And just click that and save it. And now see there's a heading here, because I've now put it to 0, that's disappeared. So if you click on the preview, that previews, but notice there's no text overlay at all there, none whatsoever. And what you can do is, if you go back up to here, go onto this first image, and let's just click that. I don't want any, I want this to be a flat fill, flat fill. Let's just give it a bit of a rounding and give it a black background, set line color, perhaps 2. I can actually put in here some text. Staff, whoops, member 2, don't like that, oops, sorry, 2, I don't like that red, so I'll make this a charcoaly black set text color. Let's make that bold if I can, yep, and I can go control clone. I can possibly change that font to that, alright, and I'll just reduce the size of here, escape, reduce the size down a bit. I don't know if that did actually. This is Lynn. She is our HR executive. Right, possibly give that one a slight transparency. Again, clicking on that rectangle, I can go File, Export JPEG, and that's that one. Export, replace. Okay, go back to the cycle, click on Edit, move down to here, and then when we go to here, I can now drop that image onto there, and it still has this overlay at the back, but just ignore that. Hit save. Just refreshing the widget. Select that. Right, instead of having that black overlay now, it says this is staff member 2, this is Lynn, she is our executive. So you've even done away, as I did point out before, with the overlay. The only problem is that I don't like about it is that it's a JPEG and you get these mosquitoes around the edges. But then again, if you do it as a PNG, it makes the file sizes bigger. Anyway, I think this has been going on for 25 minutes, which is far longer than I expected to. So I hope that helped. And this is all the best. This is Egg. Cheers. Goodbye.